Good morning, everybody. Welcome as we're sitting there on the fly. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Show, coming to you live from the Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru studio right here in Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. Wrestling Rob will be joining us in just a few minutes. 69 seconds is what he said. And then, I was just telling you, your sense of time and his sense of time are completely different things. Like when you say things, it alarms me how accurate you are. We're like a time check. Like, what time is it? And I'll be like, you'll be like, is it like 6:43? And I'm like, motherfucker. Like, how does he do that?
A weird internal.
And then there's Rob, who's like, I'll be there in 69 seconds. Shows up 7-8 minutes later.
72 seconds. 3 seconds difference isn't all that bad. But Rob, I'm sure will be here in a second.
Good morning to Kyle in the chat. I'm here representing Kelvin Joseph's legal team. That's a funny discussion. Sam Grasso saying, yo, fellas. And, of course, Ken Paulman. What's up, Rob? Ken Paulman also. Dude, I hate that shit. When I tweet aggressively during the game, okay? I never, ever at a player. I don't at him ever. That is Bush League. That is bullshit. You could say his name. I don't even give out last names most of the times. Or maybe I'll call him out by his last name and not say his first. I don't put it all together. So when somebody replies like, yeah, go get him at this guy. And I'm like, you just ruined the whole thing because now he's going to get the attention drawn that I don't want. And I know Sean Redden did it as a joke yesterday, and he literally added Kelvin Joseph, boss man, fat, whatever the hell he wants to call himself. And I was like, son of a, I got to delete the tweet because I don't want that. Like I work within the Cowboys like side media. Like I don't need. They know how I feel about certain players, right? The last time I added somebody, I got blocked, and it was Dez, right? And then before that was Cole Beasley, and he blocked me. So I'm just like, I'm not doing this shit no more because these guys are fickle.
To be funny though, like you're one of the first people that told me that about Twitter. Like, don't ever at anybody because it looks like bad. It'll eventually look bad. You're like one of the first people to tell me that. Well, because
it's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. It's just like you want to talk your shit, right? Twitter is a magical place, right? You can do whatever you want, say whatever you want. There's no censoring or anything like that. And sometimes they're like, "Are you sure you want to send this?" And I'm like, "Yes." But like
they should.
When you add somebody, it's almost like
have keywords where they're automatically tagged to you, where it's like if it's Cowboys, Dak Prescott, in this case, Kelvin Joseph, any player on the roster, anything synonymous with Dallas Cowboys, there should be a thing that bounces back immediately, like a no reply email.
And Kyle's coming
and it just questions and says, Dave, are you sure? Right, Dave, are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
That's what that blue check mark.
The blue check mark does do it.
It's like, you sure you want to send this now?
Yeah.
And it's like sending, and it's really slow. And it's sending, so you sure
TikTok, right? But yeah, so Kyle comes in and says the player can see it whether you tag him or not. Yes, that's a fact. Because you know what? These egotistical maniacs, they search for their own name at the end of the night.
So you mean humans?
No. Do you think I go on Twitter and I'm like, search my name, see what everybody's talking about?
Well, if you had 1 million followers, you wouldn't.
But if there, I
don't think so,
Dave. If there was people that literally are making a living or trying to create a living based on talking about you, and you were being criticized or not,
what do you think LaShawn McCoy's going through right now? Then, because he's the worst I've ever seen on any network ever. Ever.
Well, I mean,
like Skip Bayless sucks. Shannon Sharp is loud. But like Jim Rome is stupid. Colin Cowherd stinks.
But look, are you
this guy's
here,
really bad.
We're talking about ESPN. I can't even give any credence to it because we all know that they're characters at this point. Like LaShawn McCoy was brought on, or FS1, he was brought on to be the thorn in the Dallas Cowboys fan base.
Imagine how much money they have.
So he's doing a great job right now in terms of what they hired him for, correct?
I just can't get over the fact that you're hired to do that.
You think Shady McCoy is looking
to be an actor, not even a sports analyst?
Get over it because that's the job.
It's unbelievable.
These motherfuckers are playing a role.
Stupid.
And did Shady McCoy? Do you think he's losing any sleep over the fact that the Dallas Cowboys fan base?
No, because that's exactly what I said. I said this guy sleeps his head peacefully at night because he's getting a paycheck, and I'm just like, if FS1 has that kind of money, then hire me too. You know, I can spit back and forth with these guys. Like, are you kidding? Like, it's just nonsense. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Show's being brought to you in part by Absolute Eyewear, getting involved here at the Chop Sports Show. And of course, like we said already, it's being broadcasted from the lovely, luxurious Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru studio. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Ashley in the building, I see you over there. Mark from Canada, I see you over there. So good morning to everybody in the chat.
Real quick about Twitter, like nobody even sees my tweets at all. So
you have 100 followers.
But do you think that it would be a better idea for me to just start going at people's necks
100%
here and just start completely attacking the Packers and the
my Twitter got
else?
bigger because of the Cowboys. Like, my Cowboy interactions.
I hate Packer fans. I cannot even get
that's
involved.
what I'm saying. You would think that the Cowboys lost the game last night again.
I don't hate Packer fans
based off of fans.
I don't really relate to a lot of the ways that they behave.
It's just mind-numbing to me. Like, the Cowboys are – I don't know if you guys know this. This might be breaking news to some. But the Cowboys are 12-4, right? Like, they've already matched their win total from last year with a game left. Like, well, I guess you could just pull up the game, Rob, because we'll talk about it. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Titans last night, 27-13. They covered the number, right? The good teams win, great teams cover, right? So the Cowboys cover the number. And I was very skeptical. I was talking to Brett and Keith Ernst last night on a text, and I said, he was like, it was 10-6 at halftime, and Keith was like, they win and they cover. And I'm like, I don't know what game you're watching. Because I just feel like this is one of those games where you're just going to have to kind of claw and just get it done. You can win the game, but to win by 14, I don't think that's going to happen, right? I just don't see it. And of course, lo and behold, it happens. There's things that transpire within the game, and they cover the number. So great. Sam says push. A lot of people got 13.5, Sam. So that's a thing. I did see 14 was the number that it broke at.
I mean, if you had any brains whatsoever,
you would have bet this game early in the week.
And you were interested in laying points in this game. Before they announced Derrick Henry was not going to play, once you saw that game meant nothing, you should have been laying money on Dallas immediately because the point spread was only going to go up from there. So
correct.
If you didn't cover or you pushed in this game, shame on you for getting it at 14.
Yes, I agree.
Going up all week.
Good morning, the scoop, but
you spelled Queen wrong.
It's true.
And I appreciate you, Mark. I don't try to be respectful as a Packers fan. I think some of the Packers fans really.
And he said split. You split too respectful.
I wasn't looking. So.
They're too corny.
Oh boy. Zeke under rushing yards was the easiest catch of all time. Yeah, Beaver. I saw your bet on that, and I said to myself, the Titans' run defense, whether banged up or not, they're still really good. And for me, you know, again, they come after my neck, you know, guys like James Rube and stuff like that on Twitter. And then I'm like, you know, Zeke is, guys, again, breaking news to some, Zeke has scored a touchdown in 9 straight games.
That's a good point.
9 straight games. So you can't begin to tell me that there's no value of Zeke Elliott right now. He's lost burst. He's lost quickness. He's lost this. He's lost that. He's washed. But a washed player doesn't score in 9 straight games. He just doesn't. So you're wrong in that. And of course, they're going to come at me with the $16 million or $17 million guarantee. Blah, blah, blah. I get all that. It's a bad contract.
Me a lot.
That's been done and discussed.
You know who Zeke is reminding me of this season? James Conner from last year. I'm kidding.
Sure. No, but in reality,
he's having a way better season than Conner did last year.
But think about it.
In between the 20s, for sure. He averaged way more yards per carry this year than
he's having a better year than anybody would have thought he would have had.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So you got again.
Look, Zeke's having a better year than
I'm going into this because I'm curious.
For sure,
and it's true. So Dak Prescott mentioned it yesterday. So they have Tony Pollard, who was out last night, by the way, and Zeke Elliott, right? The 1-2 punch. They both have over 850 yards collectively, each individually. Pollard's got 988. So like the 800 yards as a supplemental back. Like what?
That's the comment that
yes.
I think rings true.
Well, no,
you're criticizing Zeke.
Me and Kyle could agree there. We can agree there and say like the biggest argument is the contract living up to that deal, blah blah blah. Right? I'm on board with a very bad contract for any running back in the NFL. Right? But the whole like he's washed, he stinks, he can't play football no more, he's lost the step. None of that shit makes any sense to me. Because again, 9 straight games with a touchdown, that's pretty good. You know who also is pretty good? CeeDee Lamb is officially elite, my guys. Just so you're all aware.
Hitting the 3 from the corner. Are we playing that drinking game today? Every time my son mentions the Cowboys, we have to drink.
Holy shit.
It's only been 9 minutes.
Log off, Ma.
And we are
meatloaf.
Drunk. We are hammered drunk over here.
Yeah, I am done for.
I have a question for you, though, Dave.
Sure.
David Carr in 14.
Is it a Cowboys question?
No, kind of. And David Carr in 15 starts.
Derek Carr,
whatever. 14 interceptions. Okay.
Dak in half the games has the same.
11 has 14.
Here's the thing.
Is it a Josh McDaniels scared that it's Derek Carr and doesn't want to take the blame? or I saw an interception last night from Dak. That Dak threw that like hit off Dalton Schultz's hands or something. So it really wasn't on Dak, but it was on Dak.
So here's the thing, and this is a real stat.
What do you think?
And I asked Chris this morning on the Mojo Market Report, and I think it's open for discussion. Dak Prescott has, I think, 14 picks, right? 7 of them have gone right off the hands, face, or chest of receivers. Complete drops, right? So that would mean 7 interceptions should be credited to Dak. Do you think we're ever going to live in a time where there's going to be an offensive interception number and a quarterback interception number?
No.
Because it is not fair for these quarterbacks. I'm not just talking about Dak.
No, you're right.
Every quarterback that gets a ball batted off the palms of your receiver, you get a bad tick mark on your resume because this clown couldn't catch the ball. Like, come on.
Hail Marys too. Like
you can say, well, Hail Marys is one thing because that's a pick. I mean, that's your own throw. But like, I'm talking about balls that went right off the hands.
It's unfortunate this season for Dak. I just want to know, really, in relation to his previous seasons, is this like an extremely high year for picks for Dak? Is he usually taking much better care of the ball?
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
yes.
If you lose 7 of Dak's picks, he still has 7 interceptions in 9 games, which is still real bad.
Yeah, so it's almost like a pick a game, which again, yes, very alarming. I'm well aware. But what I'm saying is if you stretch it over the course of the year, which I know you have to take the 5 games that he hasn't played. So yes, right now, Dak Prescott is not having the statistical year that everybody wants him to have, right? And expects him to have. Everybody has this expectations of Dak Prescott should be this flawless quarterback. But again, I'm sorry, and I don't want to beat this dead horse, but guys like Herbert, Mahomes, and Allen, and when Allen's throwing all these picks in the red zone, you don't hear about it. Nobody talks about it.
Okay.
Nobody says
I disagree with that.
Dude,
I disagree with it on 2 fronts.
We do. We can talk about Josh Allen, but you won't see fucking Shady McCoy be like, yo, man, Josh Allen ass.
Well, Shady McCoy wasn't a Jet.
But still, I'm talking about just watch the games and call it how you see it. You can't just narrow it down to one guy.
Dave at probably like one of the most volatile times of the show right now.
Can't wait.
Right? Are we ready?
Let's say it again one more time.
I'm going to ask Dave a question.
Oh, here we go.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so last week it was that Dak not only potentially moved into the top 10, but possibly the top 5 after a couple of weeks of good football. Now, after yesterday's game, I'm not saying that he didn't play terrible, but he didn't play his best game of football.
Are we allowed to?
Wait. I'm asking you, right?
Yeah.
I don't like. We're not allowed. My one rule is you're not allowed to ask me a question as your answer.
Want to say it again? I missed it.
You're not allowed to answer this question with a question.
Okay.
It's just got to be yes or no.
Okay.
All right. If you could play yourself into the top 5 in 1 week, can you therefore play yourself out of the top 10 in 1 week?
No. I think it's a season. It's a testament to where your team is. I know stats are everything, and everybody's a stat whore, right? But at the end of the day, Dak Prescott, outside of the 5 games that he missed, right? He's won a lot of football games this year, man.
Yes.
You can't take that away from him. Like Josh Allen is a great quarterback because he's won games. Same with Mahomes. Same with the top upper echelon of quarterbacks in this league. They win games. That's the end of the day. Like, I know everybody wants to be stats driven and fantasy, and all you nerds out there doing your analytics, that's fine. Dak Prescott had an okay game last night and won by 14.
Hey, look, I'm just pouring it on here. You make it a little easier. But that was a funny.
What? Cooper Rush won a lot of football games.
No,
too?
you said that second pick. That second pick was a beautiful ball. It hit Kevin Byard right in his chest.
It was a bad ball by Dak, and those happen too.
No,
why am I sitting here like?
It was right on the numbers.
I know. It's way underthrown, overthrown, whatever.
Turnovers before halftime.
Yeah, he fumbled the snap because Tyler Biotish literally snapped the ball right up his own nuts. And Dak tried to pull it out like a normal quarterback should, but he couldn't grab it because it was right there. That sounded like a horrible sentence.
It looked funny while you were doing it too.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, the Cowboys get the win. They're 12-4. All eyes on Saints Eagles this Sunday. It'll determine if Dallas has to play for anything next week. If not, please, for the love of God, rest everybody. Dak went down with a knee yesterday for about a half a second. I almost threw up all over my father's floor. I was like, if we lose our quarterback in week 17, I'm going to die. And literally, there's no way around
Kyle, I haven't done a ranking since all the things that have transpired this season have transpired.
But here,
right?
Well, you can rattle them.
Hold on. And I'm not going to right now.
But it's week 17. You can rattle who's good, who's not.
We have 15
No, I understand it. But
I don't want to be on the spot right now and try and rattle off 10 quarterbacks because it might take.
But it's that easy, though.
But the point
to me, it's that easy.
No. Well, to you, of course it is.
No.
Anybody on the fence.
No. What I'm saying is, I know who's better. I know who's better than Dak, and I know Dak is better than.
Well, last week, you told me that Dak was better than Rodgers. So I don't agree with.
One team's 7-8, one team's 12-4. The quarterback leading that team is better now.
Stop it.
It's not a stop it thing,
bro. Jimmy G is 10-2 in games that he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in. That doesn't mean that he's leading the team.
But oh man, yeah, just.
I mean, look.
Did you guys see what the Amazon did with the
Titans? I was trying to make a point here about that. I think that you could realistically make the case. It's hard to prove Dak isn't top 10. Once you start getting around 8, you make a conversation for Dak. I did it briefly. Like, you can't talk about Matthew Stafford. You can't talk about Kyler right now because these guys are out, right?
And so they stink when they're in.
Well, either way, Matthew Stafford last year was a Super Bowl champion.
But I'm saying this year, right now.
So that's what I'm saying. You have to start to eliminate some players from this ranking.
Sure.
Understood. But then there's some guys that are definitely worth mentioning in there now with like you can make the case for a Trevor Lawrence. I understand it's very brief sample size, but you could 100% make the case. Look at how they're playing. Trevor Lawrence is doing things now that Dak's not able to do or hasn't been. Hey, we're gonna move on past the Dak conversation. But that's what I'm saying. But now you have 7. But then now it gets a little more difficult.
Not like ranking them, but I'm thinking of 7.
Can I just again? You don't have to do it. Can you rattle them off, Rob?
16.
Rob,
Rattle
off the 7.
Number, not any number.
Fine,
I would say Brady, Mahomes.
So you think Tom Brady right now is better than Dak Prescott right now? I'm talking about mechanics, everything involved.
Talking about this season.
This season, top 10 quarterback list. That's what I'm saying.
Brady's not better than Dak.
No, not this year.
Then that's what I'm saying.
So
remove him.
So Herbert, Burrow, Lawrence.
You think Lawrence is better than Dak right now?
100%.
Okay, fine.
Not like that much better.
Fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert,
Josh Allen,
Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen.
That's good.
Look at Justin Jefferson.
This conversation's over.
Justin Jefferson has more receiving yards this year than Randy Moss had.
It doesn't make Kirk Cousins a good quarterback. I'm sorry.
Ow.
I mean, I think Kirk Cousins deserves like MVP consideration.
I'd say better, but I
which
mean,
is
like, you're thinking of
crazy.
10.
What is happening here?
Someone said,
Janine
said Daniel Jones.
Look,
Janine, I love you.
The reason why I'm saying that, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins deserves the MVP, but I think that he deserves.
Kirk Cousins has more wins.
I think he deserves MVP consideration, considering how bad their defense is and how many games they've won.
I always say, no, Kirk Cousins. But I always say this. I always say this: if you take the player away from the situation, would the team be would they weather the storm? I don't foresee the Vikings being any good without Kirk Cousins right now. Dak Prescott, you can't even make that argument because he went out and they still won games. So I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. Then fine.
So like that lends to the point that you could maybe make the case that Kirk Cousins deserves a little more respect.
I'm not gonna. It is what
I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is better than anybody. I fucking hate that guy. I'm just making the point. Like when I'm looking at this objectively, and you're looking at things, Kirk Cousins' numbers. Look at them. They're fucking really good. They're MVP numbers. If you look at any other season, if it wasn't for Pat Mahomes,
I don't know what it is about Kirk Cousins where I can't wrap my head around it. Is it personality? Is it? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't come to terms with that fact.
Chris says you need a commercial break.
Towel off, Shriek Leak. What's going on?
Revenge game.
The Geno revenge game. And listen, everybody, after the Monday night game, we didn't pick last night's game. After the Monday night game, Rob, I gotta give some kind of flowers here. You've battled back from the depths of hell.
Thank you.
And you are a 500 picker right now.
114
and 114. You are in the lead. Chris is down 2 games from that, 112, 116, and I am fucking 5 games behind that, 109, 119. I plan on making a surge run here, just like a duck race, where I'm like in the back the entire time, and then bang, I come back and I win. That's what's going to happen today.
This is the
so we start with the final, well, not final week of the year, but one of the final weeks of the year, week 17. The New York Football Jets absolutely have to have it. They're taking on Geno Smith, and Geno's returning to the Meadowlands for the first time since he got punched in the fucking mouth. And to me, Seahawks have to have this to stay alive. The Jets are going back to Mike White, right? And Jets got to have it more. I think the Jets defense delivers. I think Seattle's on a downward trend. I personally am going to roll with the New York Jets at home to absolutely have to have this game. Their defense is too talented not to have it.
I think I fucked this up. Is Seattle home?
It's in Seattle. Shit. All right,
Seattle.
So it is in Seattle. My fault. And it's the Jets minus fault, really. 2. And the Jets are favored on the road. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, the Jets are the favorite?
I think so.
Okay.
So anyway, all right. So Seattle's catching the points in Seattle. Sorry.
And Seattle is.
Damn it, Chris.
Well, I'm glad I caught it though. So the Jets are
favored on the road.
I still like the Jets. Yes.
I still like the Jets 2 on the road to cover. So give me the Jets minus the 2.
The Jets are favored minus 2. Yes.
Seattle is giving you a nice little fun run. Geno's had a fun season where he's probably going to be in the conversation for comeback player of the year. We'll lose it to CMC more than likely. But it was fun while it lasted. Pete Carroll gets the boot out of the playoff race this week, and he loses to the
I wonder
Jets.
if they move on from Pete Carroll, or Pete Carroll
They should have done that
from coaching
last year.
Yeah.
I don't understand him coming back last year.
Would they, though, with Wilson having the year he had there, and now it looks like they're kind of winning?
Well, I mean,
Wilson didn't have a year last year.
No, but I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like, they're going to.
I think that there's a chance. Anytime that you're the oldest anything in the league, there's a chance that you're done. Right? Pete Carroll's the oldest head coach in football. I think him or Belichick, but I think it's Pete Carroll.
Ice man, Mike
Clean
White.
sweep on the Jets.
Jets take this one.
Jets.
Moving on. Is that the only mistake you made, you think?
I don't
It's
know.
the
Or
plus,
was it a morning?
I'm just gonna be honest. It's been a rough go of it today on a Friday. It feels like a Monday.
Well, the Giants are back at home in the Meadowlands to
woke
take
up
on the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts who are riding with who? Is it Foles again? I really don't know what they've done with their quarterback position, but I will say the Giants are 5.5-point favorites. A win here for the Giants, and they get themselves to the playoffs, which I think they're going to do. Do they cover this number? The Colts, I watched them the other night. They ran with the Chargers because the Chargers gave them opportunities to run with them. But outside of that, Nick Foles is the luckiest quarterback in NFL history, guys. Anything you talk about Nick Foles in that Super Bowl run was all pure momentum, home games, dog mentality, all that shit, defense playing well. He's a lucky quarterback. Every other stop, and you can't not admit this, every other stop Foles has been to, he's been junk.
Okay.
He's junk again.
I'm not going to – is he lucky that he played well in that stretch? He played well over a decent amount of time against good teams. I think Nick Foles sucks, but to take away what he did 4 years ago when he was a completely different person, different player – I wouldn't say that. I think that's a stretch. He played really well. If it wasn't for him, I think he did better than Carson Wentz would have done in that postseason.
That's a good point.
Carson Wentz was going to win MVP apparently that year.
I didn't say he did better than him up until the injury. I think Carson Wentz sucks, and eventually the wheels would have come off.
I'm with
Nick
it.
Foles
The Wentz wagon
was a better
down
piece
another
for
wheel.
that. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl. So
You go, Grouch.
lucky or not, the Giants should beat up on the Colts. They need the game to clinch, right?
Mhm.
They can't afford to lose the game. I mean, they can, I guess, but they don't want to. I think the Giants easily handle this one. I don't like laying points with the Giants because I just think that their offense is a little stag. But the Colts aren't – they shouldn't even be trying to win this football game, really. So,
I mean,
I'm
they're
going
going
with
to trot
the
out
Giants.
there and they're going to give it the old college try. But I think the Giants actually stomp them to death.
there's
to be
no way
honest
that
with you.
the team is playing hard for Jeff Saturday.
Mm-mm.
Jeff Saturday knows that he's got maybe 1 or 2
There
weeks
was a
left.
rumor. There was an actual rumor going around that they were going to retain him for next year.
I mean, that would be ideal.
That would be absolutely atrocious. And that would be Jim Irsay sipping on all the sauce. You know what I mean? Like that would be a bad move for this team. Go get a real coach. And I'm not saying he's not a real coach. Jeff Saturday's done some nice things in his tenure here, right? For his 5-6 weeks, whatever it's been. And he's done some cool things in high school football. But like, let's be honest, there's going to be some coaching candidates out there that deserve a chance to actually go coach these young men up. And it's not Jeff Saturday. So give me the Giants -5. Where are you at? Sweet. All right. So we're both sweeping on the Giants and the Jets this week. All right, good. I can't make up any goddamn ground. Here's a way to make up ground. I'm kidding.
Packers are favorite?
The Green Bay, yeah, of course they are. Green Bay in December, -3.5 to take on the Minnesota Vikings, who are coming off another. I don't even know how you describe it. Kirk Cousins is an MVP apparently, so this is going to be an interesting one, I guess, because of the fact that Jefferson's having the year he's having, and the Vikings run attack has to, get better than what they've been. They're only like averaging 90 yards a game or something like that on the ground, which is ridiculous when you have Dalvin Cook. But the Green Bay run defense has been very sus for a long time this season. Gooch made a good point in the Mojo Market Report this morning that averages do not sometimes lead to the real number, because if the Packers give up 600 yards in 3 games on the ground, it's going to skew the rest of the numbers and you're going to look like you give up a lot more. But I think this is going to be some troubling times for Rodgers in some regards. But I will say he lights this team up. This defense is no good. Their secondary is no good. Big game out of Christian Watson. Big game out of Aaron Rodgers. They stay alive and relevant for one more week at the very least. Give me the Pack at home. Gooch.
Yeah, I'm going to go with
obviously.
Green Bay at home. Minnesota's defense sucks. Packers need the game. I'm no way picking the Vikings in this one. Kirk Cousins MVP or not.
Wisconsin's worst nightmare.
Yeah, I'm not worried about any of this. Doesn't matter what anybody says. I don't give a fuck if the Packers win by 0.5 point.
Kyle's going Vikings money line here. I know he sometimes likes to troll you on this one, but
what time is the game?
That means 0.
It's a 4:25. I think it's like the big game at 4:00. So it's like the Fox game of the week or something.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers dealing with a little bit of a knee injury or ankle injury. They were
Since when?
saying I mean,
He's 39. He deals with everything I deal with when I wake up in the morning.
On Wednesday.
This is we need Packers Lions week 18. That's I think is going to be.
It's all signs are pointing towards that.
It will be.
But the Vikings need this game too because San Francisco's got
on their heels.
A gimme with Vegas this week, so they can't afford to lose. So the Vikings are going to be trying in this one, and Green Bay's got revenge on their mind. I like the way we were sitting in this position. We got 2 division games that we need revenge in, both at home. I like the Packers spot that they're in.
Sweeping again. All right, you know what?
I'll pick first.
I was going to say we're going to go Rob's picks first. Okay. Chargers, Rams. Chargers are in now. The Rams, for whatever reason, showed up last week against the Broncos, beat the tar off them on Christmas Day. Baker Mayfield is proving that there could be some kind of consideration next year if Stafford decides to hang it up, which, again, you're not hearing much of that, but we've discussed this plenty of times that Stafford could look at that bank account and say, you know what? Shit, man, I'm good. We're good. I got a great wife, great family. Great. I've won my Super Bowl. Like what's left, right? So why come back and just get the shit kicked out of you another year on a bad team that doesn't have any draft capital or anything like that? McVay might leave. McVay might hit the booth for a year because he's like, fuck this whole thing. The GM screwed it all up. I don't want any part of this. This game, need to beat Gooch. All right. It's an Akers game. But in any event, the number is 6.5. I'll go to you first, Chris. What are you thinking as far as the Chargers not necessarily needing it? I don't think they can go anywhere.
Baker. I mean, the Rams, are they really that good? No. I mean, the Chargers, I don't know if they even need the game.
When they're in the playoffs.
Seating wise, I'm imagining they probably do need the game.
I'm going to go to the playoff picture right now. I've already got it pulled up. Now, the Chargers are sitting at the 6.
Austin Eckler dealing with a little bit of a nagging injury.
And they can't drop.
But really, since Keenan Allen has come back,
yes,
this Chargers offense has been everything as good as they were supposed to be, as good as advertised coming into the season. I think it continues in this one. The Rams, their season's over. Don't get too excited about a big win on Christmas Day against another shit team that wasn't there playing for anything. We just saw Hackett get fired. So Wolf tickets on the Rams, thinking that they're going to be able to score 30 points, unlike the 50 that they put up last week. I don't buy in on the Rams scoring a ton.
I'm going to
points with the Chargers.
So you're with the Chargers on the 6.5. I'm also gonna ride the Chargers here. I don't foresee Baker Mayfield having a couple weeks in a row where, I mean, not for nothing, he did get beat up by the Packers the other night. You know what I mean? So it's not that far removed. Sucks, I know you don't like Baker at all, but I'm like, yeah, on Christmas, he did look like a star, right? And he did look like somebody that McVay, if he stuck around, could kind of mold and do his thing. Maybe, I don't know, but in this regard, in December, the Chargers need some kind of momentum here. If they want to stay at the 6, they have to win because right now they're sitting at 9-6. The 7 seed is the Miami Dolphins at 8-7, and then you got a bunch of teams at 7-8 right there as well. So Chargers got to have it. Chargers will get it. Rob,
I'm taking the Rams in a number.
Okay,
so
Rams in the number. It is 6.5. There's our first discrepancy there. I love when my mom speaks to text. She does it all the time. I swear to Christ, she has said tuna more to me in text than ever before. And I'm like,
that was like her
just
special
spell it
for
out. It's TUA. It's 3 fucking letters. Anyway, moving on. The Raiders who are in complete disarray right now. Derek Carr's bench. Jarrett Stidham starts. Not Jared Stidham starts, but might as well sit him too. Against the 49ers coming in as 9.5-point favorites in Vegas, where the Niners technically can move up to the 2. They'll be rooting for the Packers this week as well. It's a big number on the road. Stidham is probably going to get his lunch taken and eaten by the 49er defense. You would have to assume it is a big number, but I'm going to lay the big number. I think the Niners are playing for very, very big things here to try to get to that 2 seed. I know it doesn't matter as far as the buys are concerned, but that second round matchup, if you get out of the first, it is significant to host that game as the 2 seed. So Niners will cover this number, I think.
Not that I think it should matter in this game, but is there a chance that Debo comes back here? I saw that he was questionable. So I think Debo may or may not be back.
He's got some projections
on
fantasy.
They should probably just leave him out because the Vegas Raiders suck, and there's no reason why they should risk it with the playoffs looming. And I think they're going to be able to handle this. I hate laying all these points the way I am, honestly. Like so far, I feel like I've been riding with the favorite, but I just can't see the Raiders aren't playing inspired. It's not like maybe if they fired their coach, then everybody would be like, okay, let's show up. But they just fired their leader. And I know that Derek Carr is a dork, but the players really liked him. So at least
and now he
some
just
of the
left
players
the
on
team
this
completely
liked him.
high and dry.
I know at least one player really liked him. Devontae Adams really likes Derek Carr. It's getting weird.
And now Devontae Adams really might not be there next year. So we're both laying the points big time. You rolling with Las Vegas?
I'm gonna sweep, with you guys.
Oh, okay. So the Niners for us
I
as
just
well.
feel like this like the Raiders aren't gonna really want to win the game because they want Derek Carr back, like the players,
All right. Biggest game on my docket is the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the New Orleans Saints. 6.5 is your number. Right now, all signs point to Gardner Minshew going one more again. Jalen Hurts practiced yesterday, a little velocity apparently from Sirianni, that clown show of a coach saying that he's going to be back. Well, he's not. He's not coming back this week. I don't think so. It'd be silly for him to come back this week. I think one bad hit and your whole fucking season's up in smoke at this moment. So give him another week to heal. Can the Philadelphia Eagles win a game with Gardner Minshew at home with the crowd behind you? I don't want it. I need the Saints to win. But I think ultimately, no matter who the quarterback is, I think the Eagles are a much better team than the Saints. I'm gonna roll with the Eagles to win this game and end the NFC East in that conversation, and we can start looking forward to the Cowboys and the Bucks in the first round.
Yeah, I would say there is a chance that Jalen Hurts plays. I don't think he's going to because I think they're going to beat up on the Saints regardless. But if he does, that number will probably go up. So if you're looking like you want to bet Philly, I would put the money down now because I think if Jalen Hurts gets ruled in, then that number goes up to about 10, 10.5, maybe even 11, which is, I mean, that's not crazy. That should be what it is. But I'm laying the 6.5. I think I've taken the favorite in every game.
Eagles are home?
Yes. Do the Saints keep it close? Andy Dalton, red rifle, Rob?
The Saints are dead.
They're not. They won last week.
I think if Minshew plays, I think the Saints might.
And how about this? Ready? The Eagles beating the Saints directly correlates to them.
So the Eagles can help their own cause here if they win.
So it's like they're definitely going to.
Eagles win.
Because the Eagles hold the Saints pick. So the worse the Saints finish, the better the Eagles get in the first round next year. So they're going to they have incentive to win this game in so many ways. First round bye, division.
Rob's taking the Saints.
No, you changed my mind. I'll go with the Eagles.
All right. Way to convince.
I have the Saints written down.
We just changed his mind. We're trying to chase him with 2 weeks.
Dog walk the Saints, according to Sean Redden.
I saw that Sean Redden comment. That's what.
Oh boy! All right,
here we go.
Another massive game on the docket here. Tom Brady and his mummy self right now, because it just doesn't seem like he's alive, is taking on the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers have been playing relatively well lately. Rush attack has been good. Chuba Hubbard, and Deonta Foreman playing really good football right now. I would say that Sam Darnold is playing mistake-free football right now, where it's not relied on Sam Darnold to get things done, but it's just kind of, hey, don't screw this up for us, please and thanks. But when it comes to the Bucks right now, from everything that I've seen in the last month, maybe even the entire year, it takes them 3.5 to a full 4 quarters to get going. Like they score points, but not enough. I'm taking the Panthers in the upset in Tampa Bay. Give me that number, that plus 3.5 all day long. Panthers are inspired. They're 5-5 under their interim coach. Normally, those are just the ship sail and you lose every game. You might win one for the Gipper at the end. But the Panthers are playing good football. Their defense is playing well. Give me Tom Brady to turn the ball over once or twice to cost them this time and leave it up to a Week 18 matchup. I think that the Bucks are going to have to play their Week 18 game in order to win the NFC North. South.
Okay, I'm gonna let Rob go first because I have one thing and I don't want to sway him.
I've been on Brady this whole comeback. I'm not going to give up
so
on that.
Fair, but Rob takes Tampa. Same here. I'm just not fading Tom Brady at home in January.
I will,
with the playoffs on the line, and I'll gladly take the L there if Brady loses consolation prize. It's Tom Brady. I hate him, but yeah, I'm not going to be that guy fading him in January at home with the playoffs on the line.
Yeah. Ready for
Against
this?
The fucking Panthers.
Ready for this? Carolina Panthers money line wins the game. Don't even need the 3.5 points. I mean, I will for the show purpose, but I will say Carolina money line, they win by 4 or 5.
Best game on the docket right here.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Game doesn't mean anything. The Jaguars are in Houston. The AFC South Championship game is next week. Everybody knows that. So no matter what happens here, the Texans will probably resting a lot of guys. They're I think they have the ability to lock themselves into the number 1 pick with a loss this week. So I think that happens. Give me the Jags to cover the number. This one's not going to be close. The Jaguars are playing very well. They beat the Jets. They beat the Cowboys. They're playing very well at the right time in a controlled environment in Houston. I like the Jags' chances to do some big things in this game.
Want me to pick first, Chris, or you want to go?
You can pick.
I'm
taking the Texans.
Oops, that's what I thought.
You too, Rob?
I'm taking the Jags.
Okay.
I'm taking the Texans because the Jaguars are not playing for anything.
That's
now
true.
the Texans also aren't playing anything.
You would like to keep the momentum, I think, going into week 18. Much like the Titans are right. Think about this. The Titans would have won last night. They would have felt a little bit better about themselves heading into that championship game next week. But they lost, and now they're going to be feeling like shit. And Josh Dobbs and his parents are not going to do anything. I feel like
these guys feel fine come Monday morning, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm rich."
Texans are 15-1 in the last 16 against Jacksonville.
Cool. Still want the Jags.
And they shut them out this season on the road when both teams were fully healthy. The Texans are actually dealing with a little bit more bullshit than the Jaguars are, obviously. Stingley Jr. is, I think, out. He's
been out.
Right? But look, they're playing their best football of the season right now. It's seemingly that's how it went last year with this Texans team. They didn't get it going until the final weeks. They're coming off of a win. Could we see 2 straight? I doubt it, but I'm not going to – I think it's a field goal, if anything. The Jaguars aren't really playing for anything. You're going to see the Texans go for it on 4th and long.
There you go.
Territory, shit like that.
Redden's making a very good point. A win for the Jaguars keeps them alive for the wild card. So basically, it might, like, God forbid they lose next week to the Titans. They still might be in play for the wild cards. They got to have this game. I think they take it.
Why did I read all week that this game meant nothing? Both sides.
Told you it meant something. Try to tell you.
No. You didn't say it meant something.
To tell you.
No.
I'm telling you what I just read on Sean Redden.
Yeah. You did not tell me that's the reason. You said,
like I just said, I'm saying that because I just read it from Sean Redden.
But
so therefore, because they need it, they're 7-8. So if they go 8-8 and then lose next week at 8-9, I don't think 8-9 gets in the playoffs though. So this game doesn't really.
So if they go 7-9, 8-9 is not getting in. I don't know. Sean.
So maybe this game don't matter actually. Maybe mathematically with all the Wizards back there behind all the numbers, it might matter, but 8-9 doesn't seem like it's going to get in.
Because win or lose this week.
But then again, it can because the 7 is the Dolphins. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's move it on.
Really important game.
Yes, one of the bigger games of the week. It's basically a loser go home.
Way too long about that game.
Loser go home is the Miami Dolphins traveling to New England. We both said it this morning. The last time we saw Miami travel up the eastern seaboard, up the corridor and right up there to Buffalo, they didn't play very well. So the Finns, the fish, can't seem to play well in the cold weather. It's probably going to be relatively cold in New England on Sunday. Tua ruled out. He's not going to be playing. It's Teddy Bridgewater time once again. Shit. I mean, listen, there's no team outside of like the teams I'm supposed to hate, like NFC East, that I hate more than the Patriots because of A, their coach, B, their quarterback. I think Mac Jones is a dirty, dirty little brat. And I think for sure that somebody on that Dolphins defense will crush this kid at some point or another. Some kind of hit that will probably a 15-yard penalty of some variation. Somebody needs to humble this bitch because he keeps all these dirty plays and trying to trip people and trying to fucking take guys' knees out. This guy needs to get got.
He's like Grayson Allen.
Yes, that's a guy. Scoop said that the other day. This guy needs to get slapped right in the face. So are the Dolphins the one to do it? God damn it. I mean, can they run the ball against New England? Because I just don't see them passing.
Teddy 2 gloves too, right?
I know. He's definitely going to be wearing 2 gloves. 2 gloves.
And the Jets need this so bad. They need the Patriots to lose.
Patriots are going to win this game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ma. Patriots are going to win this game, and the Dolphins season is going to be up in smoke. It'll be over.
Yeah,
all that the big hype in the beginning of the season.
0-8 in games under freezing in their last.
It just doesn't look right.
Games. They did play better last week 2 weeks ago against Buffalo in the cold, but they haven't won a game that Tua hasn't started in a really long time. And I don't expect them to go into New England and win this one. It's just not lining up well. The Patriots are potentially with a banged up Ramondre Stevenson against Miami's underrated run defense. I think they were pretty good stopping the run. But still, the home game, Miami traveling up north. Until I see it, I'm just going to ride that trend.
The thing is, with the Dolphins, if they do lose, I want to say they're very much alive next week as an 8-8 team, right? You get that 9th loss from the teams below them, they're done. So if the Patriots lose, they're toast. But if the Dolphins lose, they're still alive. So save yourself a text. Ma, don't text me on Sunday if they lose. Are they still alive? Like, yes, they're still alive.
I'm taking the Dolphins. You two are taking the Patriots, correct?
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots on this one. Sorry. All right. It only matters for Washington, really. They're going to try to win and keep up. If the Washington Commanders win the game, the Packers are all eyes on Week 18 where the Washington and Dallas play, and I don't know if Dallas is going to need it based off of what happens in Philly. So, in that regard, the Cleveland Browns have been playing, like I said, just one of those weird years. I don't believe at all in Deshaun Watson. I'm not a Watson guy. I never have been. They've been eliminated from playoff contention right now. There's nothing to play for here. Washington has to have it, but there is a bugaboo here, okay? The main factor of all this, and the reason why I'm taking the Cleveland Browns to win this game is because Carson Wentz is back. And Carson Wentz stinks, and I think Cleveland rolls in this game.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz is
taking
garbage.
Cleveland in this game because I need them to win.
Why is Carson Wentz playing?
Because they benched Heineke last week.
That's crazy.
No shit. That's like the dumbest, weirdest turn of events. You got to this point. You got to this point because of Taylor Heineke. You're in the playoff contention because of Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Guy has a couple bad games, and you're like, fuck it. We're going back to Wentz with no soul.
I will say this. Good matchup with the Commanders' run defense against Nick Chubb. That's probably what we have to look out for in this one. I don't think there's really much to offer out of Deshaun Watson. Maybe seeing him turn the corner a little bit, and he hasn't played a lot of football in a long time, so maybe he's knocking off some of the rust. I think that's why the Browns are really treating this as more than a game that doesn't mean anything. I think there's a part of Kevin Stefanski that might understand that he's coaching for his job, even though you could give the pass because Deshaun Watson missed entirely, most of the season. I still think Kevin Stefanski has had plenty of opportunity in this league with some talented rosters, and he hasn't been able to figure things out as a head coach. So they might be moving on from him. So he's going to stick around and he wants to stick around. He's going to try and coach him up and knock off the bum-ass Commanders.
I will say this as a follow-up. Like, I feel like, and this is no disrespect to any of the guys over at the Sauce because I love all them guys. No, but I feel like it's like the popular cool thing to say, like, Wentz wagon, I'm back on the West, Commander Carson. He sucks at football.
I think there's also part of it that knows what it does to you.
Yeah.
Like with the Wentz wagon.
Bullshit. I don't really care. The guy stinks. I'm just trying to hammer it home. I don't care about Carson Wentz nor the Redskins. I don't.
I know you don't care about Carson Wentz.
Whatever.
We all taking the Browns?
I'm taking the Browns, yeah.
Christian Browns? Chris Browns?
Chris
Brown, literally?
I picked the Browns right before the fucking.
I'm taking the Commanders.
Oh, he's going with Captain Carson.
I just think he gets benched by halftime and we see Hunt.
That's not going to happen, but that would be hilarious.
Rob is like, I think the Commanders are going to get killed, but they're going to bench their quarterback. Like that's how he's handicapping this game.
I like that.
Beautiful.
Hedging the bet. I like that. All right, 2-3 more to go. Here we go. Broncos Chiefs. Look at that number. Hi-oh, 12.5. Last week they wouldn't do it for me. The Broncos got sparked last week by the Rams. Led up 50 points. This one's in Kansas City. Kansas City still playing for that number 1 seed. The Broncos team looks to be disarray. I will no longer listen to Gooch as far as the Broncos have a good unit in the defense because Baker Mayfield just diced them up. So give me the Chiefs to cover the number and keep their pace and try to get that 1 seed in the AFC.
Here's the thing. You don't have to listen to me. You could just, You could just look at it, and I'm only saying what I'm seeing on the metrics. Like that, I didn't make that up. Going into last week, the Broncos had the number 2 ranked total defense in football. That's not a question. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs are way better. They need to win this game because they're not even the 1 seed right now. Everybody's playing for that bye. And with the game Monday looming with Buffalo, this opens the door for Kansas City. But I want to say this: if Cincinnati wins this game, are the Chiefs and the Bengals tied?
Yes.
So the Bengals are technically the 2 seed.
I said they can move up to the 1.
Well. What's the record for the Chiefs right now?
Chiefs are 12-3, and so are the Bills, and the Bengals are 11-4.
Yeah, so no. Yeah, the Chiefs could win out, and they win the first round bye if the Bengals beat the Bills this
Monday night, yeah,
or Monday night. So the Bengals would need the Chiefs to lose as well. So the Chiefs aren't losing this game now; they're going to win by a lot.
See, I would love to believe that narrative, Sean, when he's saying like, "Oh, Hackett's gone. Now here comes the back." Have you by any chance seen the new interim head coach for the Broncos? Yeah. He looks like the guy from Entourage, like Bob from Entourage, where you're just like, is that something they'd like to be interested in, a win? No, they're going to get steamrolled out of here. They're just trying to coast and get the fuck out of 2022. Trust me. Russ is cooked. It's over this year.
Video of, it's like the Broncos offensive line on the bench, and like Ripken goes over to say something, and
he shoves him. Yeah,
comes over, like fucking pushes.
I think what he said was, apparently from what I've read, is that Ripken was mad that none of the offensive linemen went to help up Russ after getting sacked. So look, much like the unnecessary slap of the high fives when you miss a free throw, like I always thought that was the dumbest thing in the world. You're a grown man. Get up. I mean, yeah, if you're right there, pick him up. If you're right there, pick them up.
Bro.
I played offensive line. I picked up my quarterback every time. It's a personality thing.
Football, no, that's bullshit. I played football for 25 years. 12 men to the ball, 11 men to the ball, always. If your quarterback falls down or your point guard falls down in any sport, you're over there picking them up regardless because it is a thing that you're showing other people that we're one no matter what.
I agree. But
I agree.
Unless you're like, I ain't with him.
No, that's
and you don't
obvious.
give a fuck.
Well, that's where we're at.
And I think that there was a point
so
being
that's
made
why
there,
Rippon had a problem with it.
Had a problem with it, and the guy said, "Hey, fuck you. You want to get left on the ground too? Come in. I'll let them sack you too."
It's obvious that they're just sick of him. They're sick of.
Well, Judy's come out and defended him. You know what I mean? Said like that's my guy. But then again, Judy was about to get traded at the deadline. Go figure that one out. Yeah. But like I don't know. The Broncos are in disarray. They need out. They need out. They
Speaking
need to get
of the
out
Denver Broncos, guys, if anybody wants to get in the Super Bowl pool,
yes, good segue to a little read
because
here.
The Denver Broncos are probably headed to the Super Bowl. No, this is the Chiefs. No, but we got the $500 a box Super Bowl pool. The prizes are enormous.
We got split one within the office. I think
these are the same guys that ran the in-season Survivor pool, and you know it's one of the biggest ones in the state, in the whole East Coast, maybe even in the world. So check it out. It's on the Facebook group right now. But look, we're doing things a little different. We're not having these Venmo thing. It's a lot of so units going on. So we're gonna just DM each other and handle things the proper way.
Like men.
But if you want in, it's not filling exactly as fast as normal because it's a $500 box, but we got an early start on it. It's going to fill as things get closer to the Super Bowl. So get in on it now.
I agree. It's a massive
$500 a box.
What are we doing here?
I'm going Chiefs. Where you at, Chris? I don't even know if you made your pick.
No, Chiefs. Yeah.
Oh, Chiefs. You're rolling. And you going with Bronco Country last ride?
Dude.
Are you? Do it.
That's a lot of points.
Do it.
I can't.
I know you wouldn't.
You
got Ken Palmer
sweet
with
Kansas
a
City.
Dennis Dubois reference in the
Chiefs,
chat.
that they'll move on from Russ next year.
They financially can't.
I guess they financially can't, but there's ways to like.
No, there's not.
Really,
there's really not.
To get picks, nobody could offer them picks or money.
But who would?
I know I got
So look, I'm going to explain something right now. Russ right now is $45 million a year.
I know
based off of that. No team is going to do that for the right now. For the Broncos, would have to eat a large portion, maybe half of that contract. Nobody's going to give Russ more than $25 million, and even that's a stretch. And the Broncos would then have to also realize, with egg on their face, like, hey, first of all, the coach got fired. That's Russ's second chance right there. Scapegoat coach, although he should have gotten fired, but they gave up 2 firsts and 2 seconds and players.
They mortgaged their entire future.
So it's not like they're not going to get firsts and seconds back. They would be like saying, hey guys, we just cost ourselves $25 million a year for the next 6 years in cap money. And we lose a first and a second round pick for the next 2 years, all to have a terrible season. And we hope you guys are okay with that, because we're going to move on from the quarterback. Now, conversely, you could say, well, wouldn't the fan base feel worse about just keeping a bum ass quarterback? Yes, maybe, but they don't have to. I don't even know how to spin that one.
They need help.
You know, like
they can't keep
the point that I'm making is it has nothing to do with the fan base. The NFL executives around the league aren't gonna bite.
Side conversation, just so you know, $500. You're getting a little excited for that. Sean Redden said that's an expensive box for $500. He usually just has to take him to dinner. And then Kyle, you can find a much cheaper box than that outside the Borgata in AC. Fair point, Kyle. What do we got left? I think it's just one more. I'm sorry. This one. Nobody actually. Lions have to have it. So the Bears not really playing for anything, according to Rube and other Bears fans. They're trying to lose, which again I don't agree with. But I will take the Lions to make next week interesting. I think the Lions cover the number, and then they bounce back after that loss last week. They're feeling the effects.
If
and
they lose now and the Packers win, what happens?
It's still up to next week
because the
Packers got to win out. So
look, if they lose and the Packers win,
they'll have the same record. No, Lions will be down again.
But what might end up happening there would be like a Commander situation, a Seahawks situation. There's other it's not just between Green Bay and Detroit. There's other teams involved.
Well, yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean Carolina's 6-9, but they win
when
too.
When it comes to Green Bay and Detroit, this game means nothing for Detroit and Green Bay's stake because they already beat the Packers. If they beat them a second time and finish with the same record, they get the tiebreaker. So, yeah, but they need the game because of the Commanders. They need the game because of the Seahawks. You know, if either of those teams win, then they get leapfrogged by them, or they lose their spot there.
I'm with the Lions, though. I think they have to have it in regards to the wild card, and again, I don't just based off of the way this team has played all year.
these defenses in the NFC North, man, and I even include the Packers in that, they're all in the bottom 8, I would say, of the league, right? So out of these two teams, I guess in a controlled environment at home in a game that you need, I'm not going to fade the Lions in this game. I just wish it was a little bit lower.
I do too, but I'm still going to go with the Lions.
I still think they're susceptible. Justin Fields should be able to do some nice things against that bum ass defense of Detroit. So, man, I'm actually going to take the points. This is the only game I think I've actually didn't lay the points in, so I'm going to do it.
All right, you're taking the Bears. I'm taking the Lions. Where are you at?
I'm taking the Lions.
All right, so 2 of us on the Lions.
So
one more Sunday Night Football. I think it's the last one. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens have clinched a playoff spot. They're sitting there at the 5 right now at 10-5, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, don't look now, they're sitting there at the 10th spot, but things can fall their way, in which if they win, they can move up significantly into the playoff push. I swear to God, I kid you not. I think the Ravens are in disarray right now. I really do. Without Lamar Jackson, the team does not look good. They won their game against Cleveland. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I believe last week they won again. They lost last week, right? So I just don't like the Ravens in this situation. I like TJ Watt to wreak some havoc over there. I like Kenny Pickett and Pickens against a secondary that I just don't buy into right now. I don't know. Steelers are on a nice little feel-good run right now after that win last week against the Raiders and the Franco Harris stuff. They're playing inspired football, and once again, I'll hammer it home. They do not want to finish under 500 for Mike Tomlin. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers plus the 2.5. Give me that.
I just think the Steelers' offense is really shitty, right? The Ravens' defense, they had some bad – they gave up a lot of pass yards in the first half. Really, it was a lot of pass yards in like one half of football against Miami, and it skewed their numbers a lot. They had a lot of injuries in their secondary. I think their defense is kind of carrying this team right now. Their defense has been playing a lot better. I don't know that Pittsburgh's going to be able to move the football much. Baltimore, it's one of those games where they're just going to be smash mouth anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I like Baltimore in this game. Pittsburgh, they got lucky last week as far as I saw it. I wouldn't say you got lucky, but you play the team that does everything in their power to lose football games. They only scored 13 points against a really, really bad Raider defense. The Ravens defense is playing with playoffs on their mind, and it's a rivalry game. Maybe, you could say Kenny Pickett getting a taste of his first trip into Baltimore. I don't think they're going to treat him well. I do not think they're going to treat him well. I'm going to lay the points in this one. Baltimore, they win by only field goals anyway. They have the best kicker in the game.
As of late, he's kind of
Justin Tucker is the best.
Got a couple blocked here and there. Just saying.
Best kicker in football.
He is. He is. Absolutely is. All right, so split the difference, Rob. Who are you taking?
I am all over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, Pittsburgh Steelers it is on the road. Warren goes off in limited carries. That's what Kenny Paulman's coming and hoping that all of a sudden that going into the new year, you have yourself some playoff hope. That's cool. Again, it's fun. It's fun when your team's back in it. Like Gooch, like week 6 the Packers had like an 8% chance to make the playoffs, maybe even less. And here they are 2 weeks and they can potentially get in. So a lot of cool shit can happen right here in week 17.
While we're sitting here, we're done with the NFL. We have 2 college playoff games.
We do. We have
TCU and Michigan is the first one. The spread is Michigan getting 7.5 or giving 7.5 to TCU.
Go blue. I'm in on Michigan. I love Harbaugh. I'm a Harbaugh guy. I don't know why. I've always liked the way his style of play when he was playing with the Colts and shit, and then he goes into coaching. I loved him in San Francisco. I love him in Michigan. I love the Michigan Wolverines to get to the championship game this year. Gooch?
Are you asking me who I think is going to win the college football?
I guess
you're going to win that game first.
Who's going to win that game?
Next, we have Ohio State and Georgia, and that spread is Georgia.
Georgia's dominating the college football playoff, I think.
You think Georgia just steamrolls Ohio State?
Yeah, and I'm not picking Michigan.
No? So TCU and Georgia is your finals?
That'd be a crazy final.
The crazier final would be Michigan and Ohio State. Oh, my God. That would be absolutely bonkers if that was the finals championship game. First of all, Georgia their fan base would just completely jump into a river.
UCLA.
UCLA? What are you talking about?
Today.
Oh. Yeah, UCLA's playing today. Yeah, UCLA Pitt.
Are they in the Barstool Bowl or whatever?
They are in
That's the Arizona
Tony
Bowl,
the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. If people just didn't have money,
Wyoming.
none of this shit would exist. What?
Ohio versus Wyoming is the Barstool Bowl.
Ohio. So the Red Hawks or Red whatever.
Green one.
Kyle coming in.
The green Ohio team.
UCLA -8.5, Notre Dame -3.5, laying the points in both.
Ooh, bets all. Yeah, there you go. Kyle's giving you some freebies here, folks. UCLA. Oh, you just said it. UCLA, Notre Dame today. Gator Bowl, Sun Bowl. Coming soon will be a Chop Sports Bowl. Whether it just be us in the back of this building playing football, we'll just call it the Chop Sports Bowl. It'll happen eventually. But listen, on the real, you got some very interesting games happening this week, college and of course the NFL. But I don't speak for Chris, but on behalf of us both, and of course Wrestling Rob. Have a very happy New Year, guys. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. All the necessary bullshit that you need to hear. But again, from everybody watching this right now, thank you for making 2022 a even bigger success than 2021 was. And 2023, we got a lot of cool shit coming between new networks, new business, new rentals, new clients, new sponsors, new everything. Everything new in 2023, and it really obviously couldn't happen without all the support. The Break Buds were on last night for the first time on Whatnot. How many followers you gained in that hour?
Bro, we gained 100 followers in our first live show on Whatnot. We sold
great
5
jerseys pulled, by the way.
We went in with the intent of selling 5 jerseys, and we sold 5 jerseys. We were going to stop it after the second one because we just kind of hit a snag, but then it picked back up. A lot of organic growth. And for those of you guys that have been with us from the gate, we really appreciate it. And Ken, I know you had a little snafu with the Lou Holtz jersey, and I know you are a little upset about it. But
you can just explain to the masses because now.
So what ended up happening was yesterday there was a Lou Holtz jersey pulled. It was on a 1988 college football national champion Notre Dame jersey.
Really?
So apparently,
dope jersey.
Lou Holtz coached in the NFL, and he coached for the Jets, right? So most of the times when there's a player, the precedent is which team did he play for the longest, or how many games played, et cetera, et cetera. In the case of the college coaches, there really is not precedent, at least none that I saw going into yesterday. I did a little bit of research, and Ken, I don't think that it was a Jets hit.
It's not a Jets
doing
hit.
my research.
It's unfortunate, but it's
I think where we went wrong though, was obviously not being able to specify that because it was just not on our radar.
It's on the fly.
Those are the things that we have to work on over at the Break Buds. But overall, it was a great success, and I did feel bad because part of me was like, I don't know how this is supposed to go, and Joe essentially made the executive decision on the spot because that's kind of how you have to do it. You have a jersey, you have a bunch of people, and I really felt for Ken, and then I said in my head, I said, Ken, we're going to make it up to you. We're going to pull a Steelers jersey next. And what do you fucking know?
What do you know?
A Marquise Pouncey jersey comes out next for
that's a dope fucking jersey.
That's a great jersey.
So
it's called a little something called good.
No,
it's called good. Go ahead, say it. It's good.
It's nothing to do with karma.
No karma. Okay.
What did Ken do great?
He didn't do great. Actually, all he did was complain, and then he got a Marquise Pouncey jersey.
I'm not saying Ken did anything wrong, but in this case, that was not the definition of karma. I understand there's still a little. Maybe he's bitter Ken today. We'll say he's bitter Ken.
He was in the comments.
I know, but
I can understand because
the way I would look at it is like, okay, I have a Pouncey jersey, but I should have a fucking Pouncey and a Holtz jersey. And that's kind of how you take away from that. But
it's an easy, Dave.
At least he got his Marquise Pouncey jersey, and I'm happy.
That's
about
awesome.
That.
That's a dope jersey.
You also pull the Mike Vick.
I do want Ken to know I did have tremendous guilt about that.
He did. He actually came into the office saying, "I don't know what to do about this, but this is what we've done, and this is what we have to do, and I feel bad." And I was like, "Wow, Gooch feels bad. He has a heart after all." It's
Guys,
weird.
just remember, this is just starting. It's just
right.
He's learning.
It's just scratching the surface of whatnot.
He's, give somebody something to do. He's
the
learning.
Boys
so
are
we're
great.
all learning.
The boys are great.
Everybody wins in the long run.
The boys are great. I appreciate everybody coming in and joining the party yesterday. Look, we had like 50, maybe 40, 50 people in the group at one point in the, watching the show. A lot of organic sales. We could realistically have gone on.
This could be big, guys. So
I'm just gonna say this: if I was to sit here with 1,000 jerseys, I truly believe that I could sit there 24/7, 365 and sell jerseys.
Before Kyle forgets, don't forget bet Eastern Washington +7 in the Sickle Cell Tire Center travel ball.
Is fucking Johnny Bench?
Bro, what is first of all, that was not Sickle Cell.
I don't know what it was. I'm just trying to inform the
So
masses.
also they pulled a Michael Vick. They pulled a Rich Gannon Raiders jersey. What else? There was another one. I'm missing one.
Dude, the Lou Holtz shit is cool.
The Lou Holtz jersey is great.
Lou Holtz jersey.
Lou Holtz. Oh, you son of a bitch!
You guys gotta get ready to play the football. No, yeah.
Welcome.
Yo, he signed it in 2021. So
yeah, because he just finished fucking writing it.
You said that about the I got a Cowboys Bob Lilly football, and I said to Chris today, I was like, "Have you ever seen such a nice, like, written out autographed and Bob Lilly. Like, you can't not fuck this up. Like, it looks like it says Bob Lilly in perfect cursive, like in Billy Madison. But like the other guys are just like blah, 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 right? And you don't even know who the fuck they are. Bob Lilly's autograph might take him 15 years to do an autograph session.
He was thinking about his grandkids when he wrote it out. He was like, I want my they want him to know who grandpa was.
Bob Lilly, Mr. Cowboy, my dad's
you don't
favorite
know,
player.
Dave also wins a lot in break butts too.
What do you say?
A football.
I have a lot of shit. I got
3 jerseys. I think James won.
I got a Drew Pearson Cowboys jersey. I got a Bob Lilly football. I got a Frank Gore mini helmet. I got an Emmitt Smith mini helmet. The Bears jersey that I shipped off to Silva. What was it? Mongo McMichael? No,
also
it was fucking.
Hat, I think you got.
A hat was nothing. I mean, I gave it to my brother for Christmas, and I was like,
winning. I love seeing Bailey win.
Bailey won the other night with a Jordan Lewis jersey, old number, IR. Jordan Lewis, whatever. I gave that shit to you, so whatever. In any event, Happy New Year, everybody. Enjoy it. Bet responsibly. Have a good time. We'll see you guys next year. He did it. He did it again. It's twice in one